definitely. You got like a little pimple right there. Do you want to take a look at that, or you want to roll with it? It could be like a piece of food. You know what I'm
You want to take a
saying?
look at that? You may want to take a look at it because I'm looking at it and it's pretty distracting. Dude,
No, no.
Dude, you need to do something about it. Go and do something about it. I can't, man. I'll try. I can't
Okay.
do it.
All right. Cool.
It's there. It's going to be there.
All right.
I ain't got no makeup or nothing to put on it.
Yeah. Leave it
It's been
alone.
up for like 3 days or
Oh,
something.
has it?
Is
I
that
just wanted to make
noticeable?
sure.
I didn't think about it. I put notice. And then you tell me it's look like food on my face.
Well, I just wanted to make sure.
Everybody, so I got this food on my face. Derek pointed it out. Just don't pay attention. Don't look at this. Look over here or look over there. Do what you do. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not self-conscious.
All right, cool.
Hello. I'm Charles,
And I'm Derek.
and this is more. So, before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like, and what else?
Follow.
And,
Oh, that
you
is
can't
follow.
it.
Yeah.
We're only
Follow,
on YouTube,
like,
so you can
And comment. Please
yeah.
comment.
Oh, comment. Yes,
Yeah,
comment.
there we
You
go.
know, so
Yeah.
you can, you know, if you like what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so today we have a new topic we're going to talk about, a new principle. And for me, this one, I've been waiting for this for a long time because I think this one is very important. I think this is the one that holds people back most. And I'm so excited to talk about it today. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, and the topic it's based off of a scripture in Matthew 10:39, and it goes like this. Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Wow.
Yeah. That
Wow.
one. Yeah, like you said, that one is pretty in your face. It's kind of a riddle,
It's like a riddle. He's telling you what it is,
right?
and it's simple, it's straightforward,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so hard for most people to do.
Yeah, to implicate. I mean,
to implement, yeah.
Yeah, implement. Yep.
Yeah. So,
So when I first would go over this, it was like a riddle. Honestly, I didn't understand.
really, like what in a riddle? Let me see if I.
In that you don't really know what it's saying. You know, to lose your life is to gain your life. To gain your life is to lose your life. I mean, it's like talking in a circle almost.
I guess I could.
You know, But once you begin to tie this to other principles, I think to me is what made the process of letting go
Mm-hmm.
easier.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
but without having multiple principles, this one didn't make any sense, and then two, I didn't even know how to implement it or do it or even activate
That
it.
there was something to let go. Like
Right,
the
yeah.
natural is so natural
Yeah.
because that comes first.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah.
but so that's what it's about. Really, it's about letting go of the natural
Mm-hmm.
or dying to the natural.
Natural, right? What I was saying last week is this doesn't mean what you think it means.
No.
You know, this doesn't mean what you think it means because.
Wait, what do they think it means?
Well, I don't know. You know.
So how you know it doesn't mean what they think it means?
Right. Because because most of us aren't going to use a principle to try to describe what it means.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at it and the only reference points we have are sight data and natural data, and as we try to look at this scripture to break it
We don't
down,
know what it means.
well, yeah, it's just
It's a riddle, like you said.
yeah, it's a riddle.
Yeah.
But once you add a couple principles to it, such as it's not the spiritual that's first, but the natural, then the spiritual. Now you can see where, well, what do I got to lose? I've got to lose the natural in order to gain the spiritual. So in that process, it's beautiful, as you use principles to begin to unlock the actual riddle that, the natural person isn't going to be able to come to the conclusion as to what it actually means.
And it is a tough hoe to row. Well, it's a tough row to hoe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but once you do it, it's like, oh man, it's easy. Once it flips.
Yeah.
So
Once it flips.
so let's get into it.
The flipping,
The whole thing.
flipping tables.
No. This episode. We're going to talk about the episode.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go. Yeah.
Here we go. I read the verse already.
Yep.
And
Yep.
there are many other verses. Well, not necessarily other verses, but then if you really look at Jesus' walk when he started his ministry and the way he was talking to people and the way he communicated with people, you can see that this verse was in his mind all the time. Because everywhere he went, when he would tell, leap, drop your net, follow me.
Mhm.
You're losing your life. Your livelihood is fishing.
Fishing,
Your
yeah.
dad looking at you like, what the heck are you doing? He's trying to say
Right.
hell, didn't you?
Right.
I guess I did.
You probably
say it.
did.
You know, well, that's again. You have to lose your life. You're gaining a better life.
Right.
You know. I
Yeah.
don't want to jump into too many scriptures because I wrote a lot of them down. So,
Did you?
yeah.
Jump into them,
Let's
man.
jump
I
into it.
mean,
let's jump into it. Like this other one here. This is Matthew 19:21. It says, Jesus said to him, "If you would be perfect, go sell what you go." Let me start over again. Jesus said to him, "If you would be perfect, go sell what you possess and give it to the poor, and you will have treasures in heaven. And come, follow me." So what is he saying to this man?
oh,
You built up a life. You got all this stuff.
yep.
That's your life. You got
Mhm.
it. Get rid of it. Sell it. Give it to the poor.
Yeah.
Lose that.
Right.
Come follow me.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yep.
And then again, this is Luke 12:20. But God said to him, "Fool." Maybe this one doesn't go, but I'm going to read it anyway. This is Luke 12:20. It says, "But God said to him, Fool, this night your soul is required of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be?"
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it kind of relates because it's like you can hold on and create this natural and have it, but what is it going to do for you in the end, in the eternity of things?
Things, yeah. Now, isn't a little bit further beyond that? It says, "What does it profit a man?"
Oh yeah,
To
I think
gain
we
the
have that in,
world?
don't we? I think we've had that in here too.
See it?
Well, I don't think we have it. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
not.
but
let's
we'll
see.
paraphrase it. Yeah,
What-
and you can put it up on the
Yeah,
up here somewhere.
I'll put it down here.
Okay.
What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul?
Lose his soul.
What does it profit him? Same thing this guy's saying.
Mhm.
I'm gonna read some more too because
Yeah.
these are good. This is give you an idea of Jesus' train of thought as he was communicating with people, and not that this is his only chain of thought, but that verse is evident in his action and how he expressed himself to other people. It says, he says, oh, this is a good one right here. It says, whoever loves father or more, I can't say that.
Mother. Mother.
Thank you.
Mother.
Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. That's a deep one.
Yeah. Woo.
That's a deep one, you know,
Yep.
because you love them. Those are your natural children. This is your parents. You need to love your parents. You need to love your children.
Mhm.
No doubt about it. But what trumps that?
Right.
That's the natural. That's going to be gone. Jesus trumps it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he's getting at there. Not that you should hate your parents or anything.
Oh no, yeah, no. You love,
Yeah.
and there's that love. There's different types of love, right?
Mhm.
Agape love, and I forget the other ones offhand. But those different types of love and how you express them is one. Like when I look at my children, I love them. I want to see the best for them. I want to structure a life for them, for them to be the most successful they can be. But all of that is still on things below. And what I found out as my children aged and I tried to keep that control of trying to get them to express at the highest level, the more we butted heads.
Mm-hmm.
And as we butted heads, that was not fun. I mean, there was really no level of love or communication.
It was more destructive than
Yeah,
constructive.
more, yes. And the more that I tried to, the further we got apart. It's not until I just surrendered to the process that Christ had been working in me, and trusting that same process to happen in them regardless of my input or expression into their lives, is when they really truly started to blossom.
Mm-hmm. And when you're genuine, which you are when you do, because you know the principles, you know the rules.
Right.
When you speak the truth to them, you speak it in love, joy,
Yes.
peace, patience, kindness,
goodness,
faithfulness,
faithfulness,
gentleness, and self-control.
self-control.
And when you express yourself like that to your kids, when you're telling them the truth,
Oh.
and you really, there's
Yep.
nothing else to it,
Yep.
they're gonna receive that. And they're gonna
Oh
get
yeah,
it,
yeah.
know?
And what I found for them, it took a lot of pressure of a parent's expectations that they have to live up to. And once that was gone, now they're just free to be themselves. And now you get to really see them express at a level you actually become in awe of them, because each one is so different, and each one possesses different gifts, and they express those, and you're just like, wow. So my daughter's gifts versus my youngest son's gifts, totally different.
Mhm.
And then those two are totally different from the other two.
Totally different.
Yeah. And
They're
then
like, not just different, they're like four corners of a square.
yeah,
Different.
yeah. North, east, south, west.
Yeah.
It's totally different, and you begin to admire the expression, their spirit. You admire that and praise them for it. Versus trying to get so much structure that all you do is butt heads.
Mhm.
But yeah, trusting that process, and that's difficult.
It's
That
like you
is,
end up pruning a tree too much, and it's not going to be right.
yeah, it'd be
You
like
do it
a,
just right.
yep. So, and the fruit that you get to eat from planting that spirit in yourself first, because if it's not in you first and you're trying to do it to them, it won't seem genuine. It'll be disconnected, disjointed. But once it's in you and you're able to truly transfer that to the other person, there's nothing more glorious than that, which I've seen in my children. Now, it plays out in other places too, right? So as you're within your environment and your group and your friends and your social environment, how has that genuineness shared with others? How has that affected your relationship?
In pretty much everything. I think most people in every circle now, not just my immediate circle, but even my work circle, my play circle, I think, this is not bragging or anything, but I think my words have weight, because they know I'm not gonna say something for the sake of saying it, or try to control or manipulate somebody.
Mhm.
Because most people know that's my pet peeve. I hate for somebody to try to control or manipulate me, in the slightest, in any way. Just let me be me. Tell me what you want to tell me, and let me decide how I want to respond.
Mhm.
Don't try to sway me or tell half-truths or whatever to make me think something differently so that I will go a certain way. Anyway, I went off the topic. But yes, so when I'm speaking to somebody, I think being truthful and being, in the spirit,
Mhm.
constantly, that becomes my reputation. So it's like my words have weight. And people, I think it builds respect,
Oh yeah.
to some extent.
Yep. Without having that principle in place, we have a tendency to give our power away emotionally,
Oh,
because as you're engaging with somebody and on those particular points that you're butting heads, you can become emotional to the point where, people will walk off jobs. I don't ever want to talk to you ever again.
yeah, you're letting that person control you. They're still not only are they controlling you indirectly, they're also stealing your power,
Yes.
because, like I said, no outside force can control who you are, has any effect on who you are, unless you let it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
And part of letting it is not knowing who you are. you know.
That insecurity, that
Yeah.
that doubt, or that.
Yep. Because if you know who you are, if they say something that doesn't line up with that, you're not going to respond. It'll be like, oh, you know.
Like I say, Derek, you're a horse. He's like, I know I'm a human. I'm not a horse. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. But but that's a great example. But it would be more.
That was a stupid example.
No. It's great
Oh.
because it's such a contrast. Like, no, you're not a horse, you know. But it will become that evident to you in a normal day life where you find your emotions swaying and going all over the place. All of a sudden, you'll see those comments like someone's calling you a horse because they're that dramatic of a difference of being in the kingdom of God, knowing who and what you are. No one can call you outside of that, and you won't let them. You'll be like, okay, you know, you can believe that, but I know who and what I am. I'm walking by faith, not by sight.
And I think I've been saying this a while now. When somebody does that doesn't match, it's not what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to say, I wonder, is this detrimental or not? But this is what I say. I say, that's probably true in your reality. Meaning, in your mind, in your position in the natural, in your realm, you believe that, oh, it's true. I might be a jackass or whatever you called me, you know?
Right, yep.
That's what I am to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Right.
can't do anything about that, you know?
Yeah. So principle-wise, what I would say for that is, Jesus tells us not to judge. Judge not, lest you be judged, because whatever you measure out will be measured back to you. So when I started to engage with people on spiritual principles, I began to see what I'm seeing in them. It may be in them, but the reason I can see it is because it's in me also. So when someone does see that, and basically you're mirroring back to them whatever that internal dialogue that they're having about you. And that's part of losing your life. It's like you got to lose that dynamic. You can't ever see somebody after the flesh, because the more judgments you have about that are external about the different individuals. So let's say you have a judgment about someone being evil, that makes you good. So now you're ready to dance. You're ready to play out a story that's common to man, and that story will play out over and over again. Maybe not necessarily with that same person. It'll play out with somebody else. But as long as you see yourself as that character, get ready to have that storyline play out in many different ways. I had an experience with my spouse. It was awesome. She came to me and said, "Seems like you're avoiding me at all costs." And my first initial internal dialogue was like, "No, I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm not trying to, you know." I tried to, and then I started to internalize what I do. And she's right. I do avoid people at all costs. Because as a child, it became a way for me to survive. It became a way for me to navigate this world and not become emotionally hurt.
Okay, so yeah, let's go deeper into that, Derek. No, seriously, because I hear what you're saying,
Right?
but I know you, but I don't see that. I haven't experienced that.
Okay.
I can't really envision it. So can you give me some more on that? What do you mean? Why do you avoid people at all costs? What prompts you to avoid people at all costs?
Because as a child growing up in the environment that I grew up in, we call it like a broken home. Okay, so my father had his issues, my mother had her issues. They separated. It put me into a foster care environment. From there, my dad got me back. From there, he had to go somewhere that ended up he couldn't take me, so now I had to go to live with my grandparents. So as a child going through all these environments and not having any stability, it was easier just to detach, because becoming attached would mean that whatever comfortability I had at that moment could at any moment be stripped away.
Okay, so when you say avoid people at all costs, what I'm hearing you say is avoid becoming attached to people.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
And-
did you
and-
see somebody, you just avoid them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I'm not like a. I am an introvert, no doubt. I will go
Me too.
somewhere and I can
But
sit
I'm a
over
very
there.
social introvert.
Yes, he is.
Once you get
But-
to know me, all bets are off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So my personality of who I am, I will pull back. You know, I don't need to say anything. I don't need to be the center of attention. You know,
I can see
you
that.
know, I like to have a very small footprint. You know, because the smaller that footprint means the less possibility of me offending you, which then if I offend you, now I got to deal with the headbutting, and emotionally I just don't
have
want to
it.
deal with that. So as we grow up, each person has their data points that over time becomes their character,
Oh,
and
yeah, for
they
sure.
possess character traits
Mhm.
that reflect that dynamic. And this is one that it's just my natural state of being. It's just how I walk through life, survive it.
Mhm.
So when she said it, yeah, I was offended by it because I was like, I don't see myself that way. But when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I do that, you know. And is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I just think it's a thing, you know. Hey,
Not to judge something.
Right, yeah, but-
it is a thing.
it is a thing.
But it is a thing that that has consequences.
It does. And thank goodness for those consequences, because it led to a lifelong journey of internal dialogue trying to fix what's broken. You know, so that's what kept me in the
I think
Word.
that's why we're similar, but for different reasons. You have the internal dialogue. You drew inward
Yep.
because of that experience.
Yep.
I also draw inward. I love spending time with myself, being in my head.
Yeah.
But just because I'm alone all the time, I'm so used to being by myself.
So,
It's a comfort. It's like
Yep.
a safe haven.
Yeah.
So we come to the same point from different
Angles, yeah.
That's amazing. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So-
all right. So let's move on. Let's keep going.
All right.
Okay, so this next one, we're talking about letting go or dying to the natural to gain life in the spiritual. So this one is one that's kind of weird. We got to discuss this one. But this
Okay.
one says, this is Luke 9:60. It says, "And Jesus said to him, leave the dead to bury their own dead. But as for you, go and proclaim the kingdom of God." I'll read that again. "And Jesus said to him, leave the dead to bury their own dead. But as for you, go and proclaim the kingdom of God." Wow. So this is a guy, this is a part of 3 little snippets where he's showing the cost to follow Jesus. And one guy was like, well, can I go bury my parents first? I got to, and Jesus tells him straight out.
Yeah.
But it's, once again, there's a verse that Jesus says, the reason why I speak in parables, and he quotes, I guess, Isaiah, where they'll be ever hearing but never
Never
understanding.
understand.
He says, speaking because people aren't going to understand it. But once you get the parable, you know what he's saying,
Right. Yep.
It's like, I'm thinking this, he's saying, leave the dead to bury the dead. It's like the people who are not of the kingdom, people who are stuck in the natural, who are going to stay in the natural, let them be in the natural, let them bury their dead. I'm just talking out now,
Right.
And you go and be in the kingdom and in the spiritual and proclaim the
Right.
kingdom. That's I don't know, what do you think about that verse?
That one, I've actually said to people.
You said that to people? I got a feeling. Let the dead bury the dead. That's
Right.
kind of cold.
It is.
No.
You
Wait,
know-
tell me, okay, I'll cut you off.
Yeah.
What have you said to people?
I've actually said that, and people said you're cold for
Wait,
saying
why
so.
would you? In what context have you said that?
Just in personal family situations that are kind of emotional that people feel they have to go deal with.
Okay, so let me understand this, because this is interesting to me. So, what was your meaning behind it when you told them that? What were you trying to convey to them?
That it's not that important to deal with those particular dynamics. And
Okay, like what dynamic? Give me an example. Some I gotta understand this because
yeah,
that's pretty. It seems. It does seem bold. It seems like that could only fit to what Jesus is saying about the natural, unless it was something that's just so natural that has no kingdom or eternity effect. Give me an example. Give me something. Okay, I probably can't think of an
yeah,
example.
and this one's tough because as you begin your walk, right, and it begins to build layer upon layer of experience as you become a spiritually minded individual, and you're walking by faith, and you're coming into an understanding of who and what you are, and then somebody tries to like pull you back,
Okay.
and in that process of bringing you back into something that has no life in it.
Oh, so you're telling them this about yourself. I'm gonna let the dead bury their dead.
Nah, I'm telling them too. Because if I'm in a relationship with somebody, and they're trying to go that direction, and I'm like, what for? And it does seem cold. It does seem callous. But man, there's a lot of life in it.
A lot of life in all that death.
Yeah, there is. Once you have that clarity, you're not gonna want to go back into eating and producing the evidence of eating the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, because it's death.
Yeah.
It's death. Literally. I mean, it says it.
So I get you now.
If you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you shall surely die. What is he talking about? Right? So to find your life is to lose. You gotta die. And then what's the next part of it?
To save your life is to lose it. To lose your life is to find it.
Yeah.
If you lose it for His sake.
His sake,
which
yeah.
is His sake is for the kingdom.
For the kingdom, yeah. So if you lose it for that sake and start eating from the tree of life, you will have life and life more abundant. So the principles drive the internal dialogue as to what you're losing and then ultimately gaining. To lose your life, like, dude, you get more life. And like you said, it's such a hard thing to let go of, but without the internal dialogue being driven by understanding these different verses as to what it means for your life, you won't see it.
You won't understand what you're actually doing.
Yeah.
So I understand. So now what you're saying, I see what you're saying now. So it's actually pretty much the same thing. In those situations where you said that, you're really saying, I'm getting rid of this natural. I got to die to this. Whatever you're trying to pull me back into, or whatever's happening,
Yep.
I'm dying to it. I gotta move.
I'm not telling that story anymore. The natural man story. Okay. I'm telling the spiritual man story.
So that's a good one. Okay. And the other one, Jesus said to him, "No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God." Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. And that
once you start moving this way,
don't look back.
Don't look back, because you look back,
it's over.
Yeah, you gotta stop.
So that reminds me of the story of Lot and his wife and daughters when they were fleeing Sodom and Gomorrah.
Of it,
yeah, and the angels told them, "Don't look back, and if you look back, you'll turn into a pillar of salt." And Lot's wife looked back, and she lost her life.
And I wonder now that we're hearing this, when it says she looked back.
Yeah.
Did she look back, or did she do something
internally
to continue those behaviors that were going there?
Right.
Ooh, now it's I got chills.
Yeah. But see, that's the beauty about revelation from spiritual principles.
Because now I'm sure that's probably what it means, because when you think about it logically, if she looks back, what is that got to do? How cold is God because she looked back to put her into a pillar of salt?
Right. No.
So she probably looked back
in her heart,
in her heart, in her mind, maybe in her actions as well.
She didn't want to give up that life.
Yeah.
She didn't want to lose her life.
And she couldn't come.
Yeah, she couldn't come.
She couldn't come.
Yeah.
He couldn't let her come.
Yep. So it is. And that is what the rich young ruler, sell all your possessions.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Okay, I think that was it. Yeah, sell all your possessions.
Yeah. So
because he was moving forward.
Right. Oh, dude, he
I
was
got it.
yeah.
I do all the law. I'm keep all the laws. I do all the things.
Yeah.
What
Honor
else
my
can I do?
parents,
What else
yeah.
can I do?
I got all those.
Sell everything you have and follow me.
Yeah. Sell all you have, give it to the poor,
And follow
follow me.
me. And he walked away sad.
Sad. Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. You know, but here's what I think.
And that's why it's hard for a rich man.
Yeah, to enter into the kingdom of heaven, because everything material, physically,
The more you have,
the more you
harder.
have.
It's like gravity. The bigger it is, the more
Mhm.
you're sticking to it.
Right. Yep. And you know, if you have food, you have clothing, you can get what you want at any moment. There's no reason for you to seek out and grasp for anything. That's rich to me.
You know, so you got to really examine yourself and really understand who you are. Don't fool yourself and think that you're up here and doing all this stuff. You know, when deep in your heart, if a circumstance changes, will you stand firm or will you crumble?
Yep.
You know, so that's what I try to look for. I try to say, why is this so? You know, not that I'm wishing bad stuff on me or wishing to be in whatever situation. I just want to be genuine to the feelings that I have, and I believe that, you know, that my faith and my relationship with God is strong,
Mhm.
and it's.
I mean, think about this rich ruler, right? This dude, by all means, had everything that he wanted, but then he still asked the question, "What else?"
So that's telling you there he's missing something.
He's
still.
missing something.
He knows.
He knows.
He's not fulfilled.
Yeah.
He's empty in some way. In
Mhm.
some.
So
fashion.
how many rich people do you know?
Not one.
Shut up.
I don't
You
know the rich people.
I know some rich people.
Okay, you know.
But when you pull back the cover, when you pull back that sleeve,
Look
when you
behind the curtain.
Look behind the curtain, Mr.
behind
Bill
the curtain.
Gates. You don't know no one who's rich.
I don't know who.
I don't either, but I know enough that, you know, I read some news articles.
Oh, I'll stay away from the news. I didn't talk about
I don't read them like that. I just
I
read
do.
some headlines,
Yeah.
and it was big. I mean, the guy, you know, multi-billionaire, and he's getting a divorce. You know, so what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? You know, be in a situation where, and he may be getting what he wants. I don't know, but I would think that at any age, you know, if he's been with this person this long, why not finish the rest of your life with him? You know, what's so bad that
He
you
was a
have to-
player. He needed more.
he needed more.
You know?
Oh, he needed to be more rich. Just that one wasn't enough.
One was okay, but there's a variety. You need, like when I go out to eat, I like a variety. I don't need quantity. I just need quality and you know.
We want big ones and small ones
I
and
want
everything
a
in between.
variety, you know. Because God created a palate, you know.
He did.
Taste bud, you know.
He
You want
did.
to taste different things. You don't want to
Right.
just eat salty all the time. You want a little sweet sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes a little sour. Sometimes
Right.
a little spicy. You know.
Right. But with that, ultimately, you know, those indulgences have your mind on things below.
That's
And to ultimately experience the kingdom of heaven, one must have their mind on things above.
And it's easier to keep. It's harder to keep your mind on things above when you have an abundance of
Yeah.
natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to keep your mind on.
Oh
things
yeah,
above.
yeah, because you got to maintain all this.
Yeah.
You know, and what drives a lot of the emotional state after you get a lot of things below is how do you keep those things? How do you keep those things going? You know, you buy a house. Man, the maintenance on a house alone,
So we talked about that last week.
right? Water heaters, new roofs, you know,
Ants.
air
coming in.
conditioned, ants, termite. I mean,
termites. Oh,
yeah,
geez.
I mean, it just goes on and on.
It's-
It just goes on and on as far as the level of maintenance, keeping up material things, you know, demands from you. So to get yourself, well, no, God leads you to a place where you can find contentment and hold on to a position of what He's caused us to be. Ultimately, love, joy, peace, patience,
kindness, goodness,
Yeah.
faithfulness,
gentleness, self-control. And that's a faith walk. You can't do that by sight. For we walk by faith not by sight. So
That's the whole point of it.
yeah. So when you ultimately become accustomed to having a sight data internal dialogue that creates your reality, that ultimately is what you're losing in the big picture. But what you're gaining is a reality based on faith data, which now, once you have that faith data internal dialogue, you see the world totally different. Your judgments are different. How you view food is different. You know, how you view
And,
um,
and in that view, it's so much richer.
yeah.
It's like you come from Kansas and you're now in Oz. You're seeing
Ah, the Emerald
the
City.
same people are there.
Yeah.
You don't know if you remember watching Wizard of Oz. The same her relatives were
there.
the characters.
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
just a different, more rich and vibrant.
Yes. Yep.
Anyway, maybe that's a bad example because there was some that wicked witch out to get you still.
Well, but that's the good and evil. It's always going to play out in the story Common to Man. So, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, when we even dream, we dream. But let's move on.
Okay, move on. So this is the last one that I have written down. Something else makes pop off from that. It says, this is Luke 9:58. It says, and Jesus said to him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head.
Yep.
Nothing is permanent. Nothing is you are just free. You're uninhibited. You are fluid. You are dynamic in your existence
Yeah.
when you're moving towards the natural, because you're not trying to control anything. You're going where it goes, and you're in that,
Mm-hmm.
and you respond out of the nine,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
it is.
This is. You know, take your imagination right now and put it into a bird. But just think, the bird flies around, it wakes up in the morning and pecks the ground and gets its worms. You know, it's not building up storehouses or shelters. You
Well, it
know,
does build a nest.
yeah, they build a nest, and you know, the birds are already hatched and they're feeding them. They're leaving the nest already, and then they're gone. They don't come back to that thing. That thing is, you know, I got no birds in my nest right now. You know,
I'm looking at the nest up there.
yeah. So you know, it's in, you know, when
They're carefree. Well, not
Yeah.
carefree. As
Yeah.
far as life woes, what's coming tomorrow, what's going to happen next.
yeah,
They're just in the moment. Boom.
yeah, and that's a promise. That's a faith-based economy. That in the natural, you can't be that carefree.
Oh no. You got to take care of business.
You know, you know. But what gives us the strength in a way that a lot of people don't have is that I know those things are going to be met one way or another. I don't know how.
Right. And
You
this,
know.
this is why I look at this right here. So it's like, obviously you need housing in the natural. You need
Yep.
to have a job. You need to support your family.
Mm-hmm.
Where I look at this, is saying this right here is saying, you have all these things in the natural, but they're not yours. They don't belong to you. Or I shouldn't say don't belong to you. They are yours.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't try to hold on to them. You know, things will come, things will go, you know, and whatever it is, you be in that moment. And if you need to get another job, you get another job. You need to do something else, you do something else.
Mhm.
But don't think that this is it. You built this house, you got this family, you're going to be here, and this is where you live. Anything. We had tornadoes last week. You have a tornado come knock it down, you know.
Mhm.
What if that's not covering your insurance, you know, or anything can happen.
Yep.
And if you're like this, you're going to be devastated.
Yeah.
But if you already know that you already have no place to lay your head, this is just something you had for now. Move to the next place because this is how it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember when you said that, I remember reading articles about the great stock market crash,
And like
the Great Depression that led to the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those guys were in those high rises in downtown New York, and when that stock market crashed, they saw no possible way out. And those poor guys were jumping out the windows because their whole identity,
They were like this too.
yeah, they were holding on,
And somebody snatched it out of their hand. They hold it,
Yeah.
got nothing.
and it happened within minutes that they went from being like this, having so much to hold on to gripping onto air. I mean, it literally was. I mean, in fact, they went from such a positive to a negative that they could not see any way out. And when you become so attached to your material experiences,
That's your identity. That
And-
is your life.
yeah, and
You
that-
lost it.
yeah, and those things create your
Ooh.
emotional state of being.
That's that verse.
Yeah,
Those who try to hold on to the life will lose it. They
Yes.
held on to it.
yeah, and see, that's the thing that most people aren't going to grasp, is that this isn't something you do. You don't release. Circumstances that are outside of your control and your ability cause the release.
And those circumstances have that power because you're gripping.
Gripping. Yep. Yeah, because according to thy faith may it be done unto you. So
Stop saying that!
right. But it's true. But
it's true.
Yeah. So if your faith, if your belief says hold
That's
on.
Powerful. That's a powerful verse.
Yeah. So and that lets you know, ultimately, that based upon your own internal dialogue, based on how you view yourself, is the end result as to truly what you experience, in a way where, does this need to be stripped away from me? Because it says, that rich young ruler, when Christ told him to sell all his possessions and give to the poor and come follow me, the disciples were like, Jesus, like, well, who is this meant for? Because this is a hard saying. And Jesus made it very clear, what is impossible with man, letting go, is possible with God. And that's where
Oh, hold on. That I got chills on that one. That is good, because what is impossible for man is possible with God, because you can only let go when you walk by faith. You can't let go any other way.
any other way. Yeah.
Because society's got you. It's got
It's
you.
got you. Yep. It is so
Wow.
gripping. Yeah.
Could
Yep.
you imagine if we got this and understood it
Right.
as a teenager?
Right.
Where would we be now?
Yeah. Exactly.
We'd probably be Mother Teresa.
No. No.
Okay, I think we better wrap it up.
All right. There we
But-
go. So.
If you try to hold on to your life, you're going to lose it.
Yep.
And you must lose your life to gain your life.
Yes. And
Natural to spiritual.
Mm.
Let's get it done. Let's get her done.
get her done. And enjoy the gift that has been given to us
Freely.
freely. Don't have to work for it.
No.
Don't have to, say the right things, do the right things. Just be who and what you are in Christ,
Yes.
which is love,
Joy,
peace,
patience,
kindness,
goodness,
faithfulness,
gentleness.
self-control.
Until next time.